Welcome, one and all, to Siege of the Empire. For those of you that are watching this live, it is currently the evening here, but from wherever you may be watching, good morning or good afternoon. Today, we will be playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition in our campaign Siege of the Empire, which has been an ongoing campaign for about 6 months now, but we are going to start Act number 2 for you all today. Before I do anything else, though, I would like to mention that if you are currently unaware, we are currently doing the stream on the Roll20 Virtual Tabletop channel as opposed to the Dungeons & Dragons channel, due to the fact that it is Roll20Con. Hooray! Roll20Con! Which is super exciting for everybody involved, obviously. And it is a charity convention as well, where all of the donations go to CyberSmile, which is a anti-cyberbullying charity. It's a great cause. If you guys are interested in donating, I unfortunately do not have a direct donate link. However, when this show concludes, you can head on over to Roll20 app, Twitch TV, and they will they have their direct donate link over there. Yeah. How's everyone doing today? It has been a few weeks since we saw you. For any of you who may be familiar with season arc or act number 1, we're going to call them acts from now on. Act number 1, you would be aware that the party had concluded their mission of reaching their destination and doing the thing with the thing. However, we are moving on to Act number 2, and in Act number 2 it's going to be quite exciting because we have a bunch of new, fresh faces, some characters you may know already, some characters you will get to know, I'm sure, very well in the future. So, without further ado, let me see if my players are actually ready to play the game, because this is always something that we run into as a GM in general. We're always ready to play whenever we're ready to play, but let's just go ahead and call the Skype group here, and see if they are actually prepared for today.
Hello.
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 Hello. Hello.
Oh, why are you all so quiet?
What are you talking about? I'm loud as shit.
Hold
Are
on.
we quiet?
Hold on. We're gonna fix this. Say that again.
Hello.
Oh god.
Hello.
I just bought a 12-pack and I'm on my
We're
third
having
one. And
issues.
it's so
Hold on.
delicious.
Oh, already? Jeez.
Ah.
We're gonna attempt to. We're gonna fix it. Oh. Hello. Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
We
Hey,
fix the issues. Hey, first technical problem of the day. Handled. No big deal.
Hey,
No big deal.
What happened?
can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can all hear you.
Yes.
Awesome, I got a new mic, can you tell?
You sounds amazing. Yes. Yes.
How do I
can't tell if
describe
you're
it?
being fucking what's it called?
Jackson, where are
Sarcastic.
you from? Again,
I'm-
I forget.
I'm from Arkansas, but I'm currently in
Yeah,
New
it comes out very clearly.
Are you
Aw.
kidding me?
He's from Arkansas.
Oh, fuck you!
Um,
Not call it that.
Oh, you were talking
I
to
do
me.
like the overlay, Jordan.
Gotta love that Arkansas state.
So also for those of you who are in the game but may not be watching on Twitch currently, I did make an overlay. I actually did a thing with the things.
Yeah, why
Pretty.
is it casting my spells?
And because I had to.
Congratulations.
So you want me to be honest with you? I was casting your spells because I had to get the box in the overlay to the correct size to read all of the information that may be there when someone casts a spell.
Yeah, I bet you weren't expecting my fucking literary prowess.
Copy paste is not hard, sir.
I did not do copy paste. Read the description of my spell, motherfucker.
Oh boy.
Indeed.
Glad to
So,
be back.
yes, it is great to be back for me in particular.
Wink, O'Brien.
Yeah, that's a great shade of pink, Brian. It's great. Hello, everyone. It's been 2 weeks since I talked with you via voice chat. Obviously, we've been coordinating trying to get this game up and running and back on track. For those of you who may not notice, there are some changes to our initial screen here. You'll see that we have a whole new set of items, which is really important here. Whole new set of items. In addition, we also have a whole new set of characters, with the exception of one, who at least got a token upgrade at the very least.
Damn straight.
So let's real quickly go around, since it's been such a long time, and I'm sure we want to find out what's been going on with everybody. Let's go around the table and find out what everybody's been doing. Dalton, what have you been up to?
Well, life has given me wonderful news and given me a promotion, and lately I've been only playing Stellaris. So that's about it for me. So
Stellaris.
I put
we're still on the Stellaris hype, are we?
I'm on hour 82, maybe 83
Nice.
on that train.
I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure. I'd have to open up Steam to find out how far along I am, but I don't think it's that far, to be honest with you.
4 campaigns later, still trying to figure out how the fuck to do the game.
I mean, yeah, no, I think that a game like that's probably you're probably actually ahead of the curve, to be honest.
Yeah, you're doing it right then.
Yeah, I think you're actually probably ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Well, cool. That's awesome. Jackson, you've been traveling all over the country, man. Tell us about that a little bit.
It's been fun, sort of. My boss, I don't know why, but she just is like, no, we need to talk during these trips to improve our employee-employer relationship. And it pisses me the fuck off. Because I want to watch Game of Thrones, because I was looking forward to that this summer.
Sure.
And I need to get the motherfucking catched up.
Yeah, you sure do, because spoilers are everywhere.
I know, it's horrible. But yeah, next week we're going to Chicago, so that's going to be fun.
Chicago is... I've actually never been. I was going to say it's fun, but I would have no idea, considering I've never been in that city ever in my entire... Well, no, that's not true. I've been in the Chicago O'Hare Airport, if that counts.
Yeah, I was very disappointed that that when I was talking to Will about it, that he didn't set me up, because she told me something that I did find hilarious, and I wanted to bring it up. It was basically when Will was saying, like, she might be interested. I said, no, she's in a different biz. And it was supposed to ask me, what biz? And I go, the les biz.
Oh my goodness. You're horrible.
Sorry for talking with you at 7 o'clock in the morning and actually falling asleep.
Yeah. You're horrible.
Well, no, it was very funny, too, how she introduced it. Was literally the first day I was working there. It just came up casually when we went to lunch. She's like, by the way, I'm a lesbian. Is that cool? I was like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care.
I mean, yeah, I understand it's not like veganism, right? Or, you know, we don't like, where vegans just need to tell you every 5 minutes, but that's cool. That's cool that she's, so upfront about it.
Yeah, but no, what was really funny, though, was that, I think I mentioned this to a couple of you guys, about Johnny's.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know
yeah.
nothing about
Which is basically body paint meets Hooters.
Oh,
we
right,
went there
yes.
We went there for a business meeting, which, again, I don't know why, the advertising company that called us was like, we'll meet here at, like, 8 o'clock at night. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck ever, sure. I guess this isn't really dinner, but drinks. And, of course, like, I already knew, and when I got there, I was like, oh, she's gonna love this. She fucking hated it.
Really?
I
Yeah,
wonder why.
Could not have seen that coming.
No, not even
Yeah, no.
close.
Would have had no idea.
It was the most awkward thing ever because I couldn't let my eyes drift, and I learned that these women were not hired for their faces; they were hired for their bodies.
That's horribly objectifying, and
I'm sorry,
bad.
but you know,
Are you though? Are you?
no, because I'm telling the truth. Okay,
That's about what I thought.
one of them was missing teeth. All right,
well,
Oh
Things
boy.
like that.
Jackson's had a great
Sounds
couple of
like
weeks then. Brian, what have you been doing for the past couple of weeks?
I've been doing a big load of nothing. School ended like the week we didn't have a game, and I've just been, lazing about, being lazy, having more laziness. It's been great. I've loved it.
Wow.
Solid.
So
Lucky.
nothing. Interesting.
Absolutely.
Will, how's life across the pond?
Life is very good, yes. I've been sinking almost all my time into Total War Warhammer.
Oh, man, I'm jealous because I should have bought it, but I didn't. Now I'm going to have to spend an extra $8 for Chaos. It's unfortunate.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mistakes were made.
that's fun.
Yeah, mistakes were made for sure. I'm so hesitant to buy a game without like getting like a lot of information on it first, or like having somebody let me play it for a while just to see, because I've been burned too many times, and there's already too many games in my Steam library that I don't play in the first place.
Yeah, that's very true.
So
But no, it's Total War meets Warhammer, so it's goodness upon goodness.
I mean,
It
yeah,
is pretty
I
good.
do love both of those things, obviously.
I mean, they have dwarves, so automatically I had to buy it because of dwarves. So
right? Yeah, that makes sense.
Sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Liam, what have you been doing? How's Canada?
Surprisingly hot, which I'm pretty sure still counts as cold for most of you.
Yeah, what is surprisingly hot for you?
Maybe 30?
Oh.
I think it might have gotten up to 30.
Oh, okay. Might have gotten up to 30. Okay.
I don't remember what that translates into in your crazy imperial units.
Oh, you were talking Celsius.
Of course he was talking Celsius. It's 30 degrees in Canada right now.
Does that mean it's 1,000 Fahrenheit?
Probably,
no,
yeah.
I
no,
think-
it's like 70 something.
Yeah, I think like 70 something. That's like a comfortable temperature. At least for
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
for me as a Floridian. That's like a comfortable like
What?
I mean, that's
30
hot for me, but
or
that's
like
because
90.
my heart is cold, and I need 0 degrees.
just cold as ice.
Google tells me 30 Celsius is 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
hot as shit. Yeah, no, that's warm.
Yeah.
That's warm. Yeah. It's been
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
92 a couple of days here, and I'm just like
You know what you need to do? Cool off with a nice refreshing beer.
Oh my goodness. I thought you were gonna like do a sponsor ad there for a moment.
I know.
I was like, Jackson, when did you get sponsored by Bud Light? Huh.
No, I'm actually sponsored by a Summer Shandy, of which I've had 5 so far.
Oh, that
Oh,
should
this is going to be a fun game.
that should make the Arc 2 Session 1 great.
Fuck oh yeah!
Perfect.
Anything else going on, Liam, besides sweating everywhere from
Uh,
every pore on your body?
Nothing anybody wants to hear about, I assure you.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. And last but most certain,
I care.
No, it's just depressing.
last but not least, Megan, what's been going on with you for the past couple of weeks?
First of all, thank you for saying my name correctly.
I only use Martha when I'm typing. It's fine. It's just
Yeah, I noticed that, and
the-
I hate you already
E-
for it.
just the
You
E,
go, Jenny.
The E and the G keys just don't
Yeah.
work on my keyboard. They just automatically
Who
type
knew? It's
A
weird.
and
Yeah.
R. I don't know. It's weird.
Funny.
Yeah.
Bizarre. Oh, that's delightful.
Sorry.
What's going
I've
on
been
with me?
drinking a lot.
Last week, went on a field trip with middle schoolers to Boston. So that was
sounds like the most horrendous experience any of us have brought up yet.
yeah, it was pretty dreadful. I mean, I couldn't manage to lose any of them, which sucked. And then, 2.5 hours to 3 hours in traffic on Memorial Day weekend with middle schoolers on a bus is just not fun in general. But that happened, and then I am still in school. Like, my last day is the 20th, and
Jackson.
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, it wasn't? Who was opening something?
Brian.
Jesus, Brian.
Yeah. No, I have chicken strips and beer and Tostitos. I'm good.
Okay.
Heart attack waiting to happen.
Cool.
Oh, and Gatorade, to even out the healthiness.
Oh yeah, of course.
I don't think
To
Gatorade's
replace-
actually
I was just gonna
healthy
say,
for
wait,
you.
since when is Gatorade healthy?
I don't think
It replenishes my electrolytes.
Yeah. I don't think Gatorade's
And
ever been
about-
classified as healthy.
I love that idiocracy thing, where it's water is replaced with like Gatorade, and they go, but it has electrolytes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, that sounds like that sounds great. So in my world, first of all, besides setting up for this momentous day in history, I have been in a constant waging war with Bright House, my internet service provider. Yesterday at like 2:00 in the afternoon, they came out and they replaced the exterior lines, the actual lines that run underground. And since they have done that, knock on my fake wood of my desk, I have not had a single issue. So hopefully that will
Wow.
maintain.
We're just gonna bend you over tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just
I'm
wait
sure
for it.
will. But that's exciting for me because I hate having to deal with internet problems. It's literally the worst thing that man has ever created. So
Possibly.
awesome. Cool. So I'm sure all of you have a lot of questions about, what's going on in the world and how we're going to jump into it. So I'm just going to do a quick recap, for everybody's benefit because it's been a few weeks. I know we had that session, that like setup session, but it's been a few weeks since we really like jumped into it. So we last left the group of you with your characters running and fleeing Melchior's tower. And as you were attempting to get out of the tower before it, teleported into extra-dimensional space and appeared in another location in the world, you unfortunately weren't able to get out before that occurred. And due to that, the characters were affected in strange ways, each one a little bit differently. So I think that we fly back from the map and we see that we open up with there's the black marble tower, and then the double doors that are out front, they open up slowly, and coming out with like shielding eyes with his overlarge hand is Raka. And he kind of like looks around, and he's in this strange land that he's never seen before. And as he steps outside, he's followed by this blonde woman who we know to be Melchior. And we see the two of them kind of look at each other and, look back inside the tower where no one else appears to be leaving from, and they kind of shrug to each other. And Raka kind of hikes up his pack, and Melchior kind of like checks her belt, and they nod, and they set off on a journey to perform adventures unknown throughout the lands of wherever they had appeared. And then we slash cut over to Milo, our little halfling wizard, who wakes up from a deep sleep in his childhood bed, and kind of oddly kind of looks around and is confused, but is eventually surrounded by his friends and family, who said that he had appeared in the middle of the night due to some strange circumstances, but Milo, retaining all of his knowledge of the uncovering of the School of Magic psionics, he sets out towards the capital of the Empire, Altdorf, to find an old friend and hopefully get some resources so that he can study this further. So we see him hike up his pack and say goodbye once again to his family after a few weeks maybe of conversing with them, and he sets out on his journey towards Altdorf. We slash over to when he's arriving in Altdorf, and he's already sent Hedwig, the trusty snow owl, to find one of our other old party members, Marcus, who ended up in Altdorf back with his order, who had relayed all of the message of the psionics to the Grand Theogonist. And the Grand Theogonist, who is ostensibly the head of the church, wielding just as much power as the Emperor himself, took Marcus kind of under his wing and made him kind of part of this detail to research and find a way to counter this powerful new school of magic. And that's where Milo comes in, and Milo decides to team up with Marcus so that he can a little bit selfishly get his own research done into psionics and how it works. So we see the group of them together. We see Jericho kind of disappear into the night. It's pretty unclear as to where he went or where he ended up, but we maybe see a like a flash image of him back in Middenheim, kind of making sure his affairs are in order and setting out to regions unknown, where he somewhat vanishes from society for a time. And then we of course see Ari, who flashes back to a very brutal memory where she was forced to kill someone in her life by changing into a beast. And we see Ari take a different path. Instead of running away and becoming a solitary being, Ari is shipped off to what circle did we say you were shipped off to, Megan? It was the
Order of the Beast.
Yeah, the Order of the Beasts.
Yeah, Order of the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Shipped off to the Order of the Beast to learn to control her powers. And that is something that obviously it is the Amber Order. That's what it is. Yeah. We see her shipped off to the Amber Order in order to learn how to control her powers. And we'll see if Ari makes an insertion back into the campaign. But that leaves us with, we flash cut over to the Foundation, where the marble tower once stood, and now it has traveled away to a far-off land where Raka and Melchior are causing all kinds of havoc, I'm sure.
Damn right.
And we see lying on the ground on the Foundation, we see a red-headed figure who is very clearly Morella Fairheart, our resident to-be Empress, son of Count, or daughter of Count Fairheart, the Count of Talabheim. And Morella awakens kind of stiffly and shakes her head and, checks for any wounds, of which she has none. And I assume wakes up and just looks around and just says, shit, with no one else in sight from her previous party. However, we see Morella as she begins to travel back to Talabheim to hopefully seek an audience and some support from her father. She meets along the way a interesting man by the name of Hannibal D. Solomon. Jackson, would you like to describe your character for us?
Yes, he's a very tall man, but has a very runner-like figure. And he wears a wooden mask on his face that has eye holes and a mouth hole, but it looks just like a regular human's face. And he also wears a green cloak that goes over the top of his head, hiding his hair. He also wears gloves, and not a single part of his skin is showing.
All right.
Underneath the mask, you can also see blue eyes. Sorry, forgot that.
Yes, and you were accompanied by another individual as well. Would you like to describe him?
It's a her.
It's a her. I'm sorry.
Because when I looked up male fairies, I did not get the things I wanted to see on the image search.
I'm sure that you did not.
So yes, you see a little tiny fae, blue, with wings, a little sprite named Puck.
Named Puck. Hey!
Oh, fuck you. But most of the time he is invisible. Shit, I still have it.
So she kind of just remains invisible. But you and Morella will have been traveling.
Yeah, we
for
already
quite some
talked about
time.
that. She's seen him.
There's probably not many things that Morella doesn't know about you. Watch out!
I don't think I've told her my past.
Listen! So I'm just going to do that randomly throughout the entire game in every scene that you're in.
If you don't, I will.
So yeah, cool. So that's.
Could you please open a Puck's character sheet for everybody to see the image of what I put for her?
Sure, I can absolutely open up Puck's character sheet. There, for your viewing pleasure. There's Puck.
I don't see anything.
You'll have to see on the stream. Here, I'll show. Hold on, I'll just show everybody because nobody else can see this actually. Let's see. Wait, what the? There's my show to players button. That's weird. It doesn't have a show to play. Oh, Oh, I'm an idiot. Hold on. Let me go onto the real account and show everybody. Show to players. There you go. Y'all can see it now. There's Puck. It's fantastic. Cool. So, upon meeting this individual, I assume you guys are equally as unwary as one another, but both of you are well-traveled enough to realize that traveling alone is, well, it's basically death in this world. And so, inevitably, the two of you team up in order to fight bads together and survive. So we have kind of like a montage scene of Morella with her spear and her sword and her shield and kind of defending, and we see images of Hannibal throwing spells and casting magic, and we see Puck flying around like providing surveillance. So we just get kind of like a montage of scenes like that, and eventually the two of them arrive at Talabheim, where things go one way or another, which I will leave unseen by the rest of the party. And the two of them decide that they should set out towards Altdorf themselves. And so, when we get to the opening scene, Morella and Hannibal are arriving at the gates of Altdorf. And Altdorf, because we've never seen it as players before, let me go ahead and open up the locations thing, because I actually have a location for this. We'll just go ahead and show this to players, so that everyone can see kind of what we're dealing with here. So Altdorf is the capital city of the Empire. It's the seat of the Emperor. It's advised by the Council Staff, the nobles, and the Grand Diogenist, which I mentioned earlier is the leader of the church. The Elector Counts, which we have met one so far. It's also has the College of Magic, which has the headquarters of the 8 orders: the Amber Order, the Amethyst Order, the Bright Order, the Celestial Order, the Gold Order, the Grey Order, the Jade Order, and the Light Order. It also has a School of Engineers for those mechanically minded folk who like to tinker and build things. There are far more dwarves here than is typical with, I think, other human settlements. And other races are actually rare. Elves are quite rare in the city. Halflings are quite rare in the city. Obviously, the primary worship is to Sigmar. It is the capital of the Empire. But that's not to say there aren't at least shrines to other deities here. It also holds 4 knightly orders. It holds the Reichsguard, who are primarily made up of nobles of Reichland. It's the High Helms, the Knights of the Fiery Heart, and the Knights Griffin. And that's kind of what exists within Altdorf. So, what we can say is, let me go ahead and move everyone over to the map that I have of Altdorf, because you all know how much I love my maps.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is
a
really
pretty
nice.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, I figured Altdorf is going to be a pretty major part of our game, so it should probably have a decent map.
Indeed.
So, as the two of you enter the city, what are your goals or your motivations for what we're going to be doing here? I think that Morella and you guys have like an overall goal, right, of what you need to accomplish here, and what is that, if you want to share it with everybody?
Can you repeat that question for me again? Sorry.
So the two of you have like an overall goal of what you want to do in Altdorf, like what the purpose of you coming here. Do you want to share that with everyone? What your intent is?
Well, the intent is for Morella at some point to gain an audience with Emperor Magnus the Pious. That is her goal. Like, that is her simple, overall goal is to gain an audience one way or another. Whether it be through just simply, hey, let me in, and they let her in, or if she has to go through hoops and hurdles type of thing. So, we'll see how that is determined. Hannibal, however, I'm sure he has something slightly different. Maybe. So, I don't know.
Well, Hannibal's goal is, I'd say it's similar to Morella's overall goal of just helping people in general. But his more specific goal is he wants to end chaos. He wants to he wants to fight against chaos, I guess would be the main thing.
So you have more of a righteous kind of,
It's more selfish.
Okay,
But at the
yeah.
same
So
time,
for personal reasons, you want to cleanse the world of chaos.
but he's also not above just helping people. He's a very helpful dude.
Sure, yeah. I think that comes across too in your character. A lot of people probably like you because you're generally charismatic and friendly, and you're not opposed to helping people, but also people who people who don't really need the help but ask for it. They can get wrecked.
Yeah, fuck off.
Exactly, absolutely. So I think that's great. So the two of you arrive in the city. You know where the palace, which is this location here. If you were unaware, it's the very large building. That is the palace. And being granted an audience with the emperor, typically on a walk-in notice, will take weeks. However, getting an audience with some of the lesser members of the court, that's totally something that especially one with Morella's background can accomplish. So I think that as the group of you head over, you're probably going to the nicer area of the city to find an inn. And I should mention as well, for those of you that didn't know, it's been about 3 months. So it's been about the same amount of time as the entire last campaign took place in. That much time has passed currently. So you can imagine the changes that have occurred just purely based on the changes that occurred during the time we were playing. So, what would since Morella, you are a returning character, what would Morella, would there be any changes in Morella for the 3 months of mostly just traveling?
Yeah, before when we seen Morella, she was she seemed very innocent looking almost. Yes, she was a warrior, she had the warrior's appearance, but she looked like a green as grass recruit type of warrior. But now she seems very her face is very stern and determined, and she has almost an iron-hardened face at this point. So her hair though hasn't grown within the last 3 months. It seems like she's been keeping it short for that duration of time. So
okay, cool. So I think that as the group of you kind of travels, and you probably arrive towards the evening time, so it's starting to get it's dusk, it's a little bit darker, so you're probably heading over to the nicer area of town, over to closer. You know that you won't be able to do anything until tomorrow, basically. So I think that as you're traveling through the city, we see another group of 2 individuals who are ever alert and always monitoring the comings and goings of the city, because it's their city and they kind of run it. So, V, would you like to describe your character for us?
Sure. So Vi is actually pretty unassuming. I don't think I've ever said it out loud, so it's okay. If you were just to look at her, you wouldn't think very much of her, and she kind of likes it that way. She has long brown auburn hair that she pulls really tight to the side in a braid. She has kind of severe features, and basically a steady wind could push her over. At least you would think that anyway. She, like I said, is pretty indistinguishable from anybody else in the crowd, but the second she smiles, she's got a pretty wicked smile that no one would forget. So that's Vi.
All right. And traveling in your accompaniment at all times, perhaps a little bit more in the shadows even, is the marvelous Chester. Chester, would you like to describe your character?
Sure. Chester is, the best way to describe him would be a very flamboyant character. Tall and kind of lanky. He's always dressed to impress, would be the word. Long flowing overcoat, tall embroidered top hat, the whole 9 yards. And that's him. He always has this perpetual smile on his kind of worn-looking face. It's a bit off-kilter. It's a bit offsetting. That's Chester.
Yeah, and I think that as opposed to the other 2 new characters, do you have any items that you carry that are distinctive of your person?
Yes, actually, Chester carries a extremely large crossbow that's just wrapped or like straddled onto his back, and he just walks around like it's not even there half the time.
Yeah, it is quite ornate and beautiful. And I assume you're an individual that looks like you know how to use it too, as well.
That I am.
All right, excellent. So the two of you who you constantly monitor things that happen in and out of the city for various reasons, obviously, but you notice these two individuals who, well, they do stand out. Morella still carries herself very much like a noble woman, and due to his charisma and his general like look with the covered completely body, the mask, everything else, they're distinctive, and you can tell just at a glance that they're not your typical peasantry. So would there be a conversation that the two of you have in reference to what you see entering the city?
I immediately would point at these two and smile at Chester like, ooh, we've got two live ones.
That we do. Hey, maybe we should do it like that one fancy noble lady. You know, the one with the really big floofy hair?
Oh, yes. She was delightful.
Yeah.
I have a lot of ideas. Maybe we should follow them.
Agreed.
All right. So they kind of tuck in, and I mean, Altdorf is your city. You know it like the back of your hand, and the two of you have no problem following the group who is seemingly unaware to your presence. And I think that when you make it over to Morella, back to Morella and Hannibal, when you guys make it over to the inn that you're staying at, it's probably this blue building right here. What would you like the name of it to be? What do you think the name of this inn? It's a higher class inn. It's this blue building right here. Right?
Oh no.
The White Swan.
The Cock and Hammer.
All right.
Because that's actually a name of a restaurant around here, so it's the first thing.
Below zero.
Oh, God.
Not again.
Not again.
All right. Let's make this a
That place
bigger.
is awesome.
Let's make it 40. Cool. The White Swan. Let me put it actually over that building. Right there. Cool. So you guys arrive at the White Swan, and as you enter, you can immediately tell that it is a high-class establishment. It is the kind of place that Morella would actually feel comfortable staying in. Hannibal, it may be, I don't know, how well do you live while you're on the road, Hannibal?
Fairly well. He did have a lot of money when he pawned everything, so
Sure.
yeah, he knows comforts like this.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so you arrive in there, and obviously Vi and Chester, you guys recognize these two entering the White Swan, which you know very much about the White Swan and how it operates. You know that's a higher class establishment, but you also know that there's a lot of important people in there that you don't necessarily want to piss off so much, just because that's generally a bad idea. And I think that as you arrive in there, the inn is fairly crowded. There appears to be a lot of nobles and or nobility in town. And there's serving girls who are dressed appropriately, and a bartender who seems normal and not chaotic and not going to turn into a mutant at all.
Well, that's new.
That's a really specific denial.
Yes, it is. And the patrons are loud. There is music playing. Morella, maybe your head turns ever so slightly to see, but you are saddened slightly when it is not Jericho playing the flute, or the harp. Or what did you play again, Jericho? I forgot. Was it?
Oh, he played lots of things,
Yeah,
but flute and violin were common.
Violin, yeah. There was no violin or flute going on, played by your friend. your head sinks a little. But you guys find a table kind of in along one of the sides of the building, and it's generally a nice atmosphere. But there is definitely someone inside of this building who no one entering and or leaving escapes his notice either. Liam, would you like to describe your character for us?
It's been a struggle trying to figure out exactly what he should look like, because, I mean, you can see the token, but you can also see the profile image that I've given to him on the character sheet.
Yes.
Neither of these are completely accurate, but they are both facets of who he is.
Are you far away from your microphone, or did my headset fuck up again?
No, I can't barely hear him.
Okay. Yeah.
That's weird.
You seemed like
This
you were
any
far away
better?
from your right. Yeah, it's much better.
Okay. I think I may have just been leaning into a fan and it was compensating badly. Sorry. So yeah, you can see those two images, neither of which are totally accurate, but they cover sort of two facets of how he do. He is... I mean, all halflings are fairly fuzzy. This is a halfling who was built for cold weather. He's... Actually, I'm not sure. What is average halfling height here? I'm not sure if he's shorter.
Average halfling height is approximately like 4'6", I think.
Okay, he's short even for a halfling.
Yeah, I think
This
it's
is-
in that range somewhere. I think 3'9" is the minimum or something like that.
Okay, well, he is the lowest end of halfling height. This is a minuscule person.
Diminutive. Got it.
But he also looks fairly comfortable in his surroundings here. This is a place that this is the kind of place that he's used to being, at least for as long as he's been in Altdorf, and probably as long as he's been in the Empire. He's getting more comfortable here, probably lounging a bit, but if someone does pay particular attention to him, they may notice just how carefully he's taking note of everybody who enters.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not like it's pretty easy to tell like that when someone is kind of observing the room, and you're not really doing, I don't think, a whole lot of things to attempt to hide this fact.
Not really.
But it's kind of your job, right? Your job is to kind of know a little bit about everything and everyone.
Got to.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that maybe at one point you should glance over to the minstrel playing in the tavern, and I think that we get our first real shot of Farron. You wanna describe your character for us?
Yes, so
That was amazing.
I do
by the
actually
way.
have.
Oh my god, I love it.
Please tell me that there is an instrument next to you in your house that you played to make that noise.
I am actually playing this right now.
That's amazing.
I love you.
You are probably
You win.
You're my favorite
You
player.
win, yes.
You're my favorite player. It's
Absolutely.
What are you actually playing?
It's currently a ukulele.
That's what, okay. Cool.
perfect.
Perfect hard instrument.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
It's so
Yes.
portable.
You can see Farron playing away, and he's very tall, half elf, quite easy to see, but very kind of handsome, and you can see the other ladies in the kind of almost swooning just at a glance at him.
Oh, it's like Jericho never left.
No, it's great, isn't it? But you can see just in the way that he carries himself that he has kind of fantastic reaction times. So kind of playing off the banter from some of the more drunkard patrons. Yeah.
and that's fair. And so yeah, so I think that and I apologize. Arcady, correct? Is that how you wish that pronounced, or Arcady?
Arcady, yeah.
Arcady. Okay. Arcady.
Petrov. I mean, I'm going with Petrov as sort of the default name just because I figure it's easier for people.
Petrov is easy. I hope we meet some of your people because it's like the one accent I do really well. So yeah. So I think that you shoot him a glance because you recognize the two that come in. Morella enters first, and immediately you can pick out nobility in like an instant. Like it's just you have a radar that goes off, and there's a little ping in your head, just like, hey, that person's noble.
This is a woman who has never spent less than 20 gold a single day.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So because of your nature, I would assume that you would want to like know and or recall or perceive as much information as you can about a new potential contact.
Yes.
Yeah?
Especially one like, oh yeah.
Right, absolutely.
I don't realize how important it is that I figure out who she is, but I will.
Right, yeah, absolutely. So I think roll me let's see. Roll me a perception check to see what you can like identify and how well you might be able to perceive what's going on. Okay, so not great. So again, you can definitely tell that she is from some family line, and maybe the fact that you can't really pick up on where exactly or what lineage she comes from or anything like that, maybe that's what piques your curiosity the most, right? The fact that there is someone in town who is apparently, somewhat important, not traveling with a retinue, right? Like, she doesn't have a bunch of guards around her. She's just got this strange clerical priest-like guy with her. But she is clearly, like, somewhat of import. So maybe that is what, like, initially piques your curiosity. So I think that sitting at the table, and obviously you motion to, like, you subliminally, like, notify Farron of this. Of like, hey, there's somebody new in the bar. Maybe we should, investigate a little bit. So we'll jump back to Morella and Hannibal. So you guys enter this establishment. It's fairly busy. What do the two of you do after you sit down and you get food? Do you guys like start drawing out a game plan or what's happening there?
First off, he orders a beer.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
And, yes, Hannibal would be telling Morella that we need to have an idea of what we're going to do before we do it. We can't just go in there and expect to see the Emperor.
Morella just kind of looks at you with maybe a stone cold face, and she's like, well, I have an idea or two. I'm sure there's a noble who wants to see with me at some point. I'll have to remember who resides within the city. It might take a day or two.
Alright then. And then, how do you think they can help us?
Well, being in the noble game, I know how to appease a noble to a noble.
Alright.
Ask for a favor. It's all a bunch of games.
Is this favor going to be to ask for an audience with the Emperor?
Of course.
Sure. So, Morella, do you want to make like a roll to see who you might know in the city?
Yeah. I would assume
About to know me.
that would be history.
Yeah, it would totally be a history check. Yep, absolutely.
So let's see. Boom.
Yeah.
That obvious.
So, so here's the problem with Morella's background. Being as sheltered as you were, you didn't have a whole lot of exposure to other courts. Mostly your information comes from whoever might have visited Talabheim, right? Because you never really left that city or that area for most
a
of your
long
life.
time.
Yeah, like 20 years or something like that.
A good 20, 25
yeah.
years, something like that.
So I think that your knowledge is limited. You know where you could find. In fact, you would know that this inn is probably where foreign nobles stay. So you're already in kind of the right place. But as far as a specific name or someone you can find, you may have to do a bit of actually boots on the ground investigative work to find someone who may be able to help you get an audience.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
I might have somebody that could help us.
Yeah.
I have a contact in the Knights of Griffin that might be able to help us out in some way. I need to pay him a visit anyway.
Sure. I'm sure that will work just as fine. I'll see, though, if I can't see, if we can contact others, because the more options we have, the better.
That sounds good, too.
I'll get the rooms in order a while.
Alright.
So, Morella, you get up and you head over to the bar to work out the payment for the rooms, etc.
Yeah.
I think that is probably...
She specifically says that there's only going to be one room for two people.
I'm sure that the two of you've been traveling for almost 3 months now. You're pretty comfortable, kind of basically living with each other at this point.
Essentially.
So Farron, I think it's like about time for a break, right? So maybe you take a water break and you go over and you join Petrov, since apparently that's what he wants to be called.
Yes.
You join Petrov, and so the information that you have at this time is like, hey, there's 2 newcomers to the bar. What do we do with this?
Hey, laddie. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good song. These people you recognize?
No, they look fairly familiar.
Cannot
Certainly.
place. It's suspicious.
And I've heard rumours that the one with the red hair is the Empress to be.
Empress. This is. How do we know the Empress was coming to Altdorf?
Well, it certainly wasn't on my radar. It's just what certain folks have seen.
I will approach them.
Okay. Yeah. So Morella's up like at the bar getting rooms squared away, and then her companion is sitting at the booth. So which one would you go and approach?
It's a fair point. You approach masked man. I will deal with princess. You're sure she's princess?
Well, that's certainly what the rumors are saying.
And yet she is not concerned. She is not guarded. She is not sworn.
Well, there are rumors that she was traveling with a group to go out and see the world, but I don't know how that failed.
Yeah. Well, I will not spook.
Okay. So Petrov, you get up and you approach the bar, and Farron, maybe you sidle over. Is that you, Liam? Your mic is going all kinds of crazy right now.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and then Farron, you probably sidle over to Hannibal seated at the table, and so yeah, I think that Petrov, you approach Morella, who is like just finished like working out the details and handing over some coin for the room. What do you say?
So you're approached by this halfling, not even 4 feet tall, swaggering up to you as best he can. He bows reserved and respectful manner and speaks with what I can only assume is a rich Kislev accent. I thought I knew every noble in this town, but I have never seen you before. May I introduce myself? Ambassador Arkady Kislev, emissary to the Ice Queen.
She looks over and then maybe expects to see someone at her eye level, and then has to look down. And she raises an eyebrow, and maybe a smirk, a small grin comes across her face before it disappears quickly. And she's like, "Why do you want to know who I am exactly? What business?"
As I say, I thought I knew everybody in this town. Certainly, everybody who would stay at White Swan. You're new. You're remarkable.
I'm just a woman.
Do not mistake my intention. I wish only to offer my services. You seem unfamiliar with town. I have been here, well, not all my life, but I am well informed in comings and goings.
Is there a specific reason you want to help me out of all the people that could actually use help?
I offer help to everybody.
She kind of just like maybe like looks away and she's like, well, if you really wanted to help me, go speak with him. And she points to Hannibal.
Yeah, and I think that's the perfect like
Your
transition.
companion.
Yeah, it's like the perfect transition where we just like she points, she says speak to him, and then we wipe over, and Farron, you approach Hannibal. Hannibal, you see him approaching. You recognize him as the minstrel that's been playing. Farron, how do you approach that conversation?
It's not often we see a new face in here. Well, I say face, but you're wearing that mask.
Yes, I am. Who are you?
I'm Felon McCabe. Pleased to meet you. What's your name?
Hannibal, and I reach out my hand to shake his hand.
I do a flamboyant handshake.
Make a charisma saving throw.
Yeah, no, he's not lying. Make a charisma saving throw.
Oh god. Okay.
Alright, you're fine.
Alright, but first of all, tell me, how are you feeling?
He rolled a 25.
No, but it still happens. If it's above a 10, I don't know his alignment.
Really?
Yeah.
What is going on right now?
Is it? Oh, right. Never mind.
So, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm grand. It's a good show tonight, isn't it?
No, I mean like literally, like character-wise. Because I'm able to.
Yeah,
Now I
what
know
is-
how you're.
Okay, you ready? What is your current emotional state?
I'm fairly happy. I'm having a good it was a good performance that I just did, so I'm now relaxing.
And now we have new marks.
Sure. Yeah, that seems like a good answer. Continue with the conversation.
Okay.
Alright. Hannibal. And then I let go.
So, what's up with the mask then?
Why do you want to know?
Well, it's not every day we see a man just come in with a mask on his face.
It's not every day that somebody approaches someone to talk to somebody with a mask on their face.
What can you
You.
say? I'm curious.
Hannibal's suspicious. Everybody's suspicious of everybody.
Oh, please,
just gonna be-
calm down. Do you want me to buy you a drink?
No.
Alright, I'll have one then.
Sure. Yeah. I think the barmaid brings you a drink after some short time.
So what brings you into Altdorf then?
You're asking a lot of questions.
As I said, I'm a curious guy.
I have business here.
Ah, fair enough.
Meeting an old friend.
Ah, anyone I would know?
No.
You sound quite certain of that. I know quite a lot of people in this city.
I'm very certain.
Farron is friend to everybody.
Yeah. So I think that Marilla, would you accompany Petrov over as he approached, like went over to the table to talk with the group?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
she
that
would,
about this
walk
point,
over.
you guys walk over and introductions are made.
And now make a charisma saving throw.